As the self-proclaimed maker of the best car in the world, Rolls-Royce is the yardstick in which other cars and even other things are measured. You don't say something is the Rolls-Royce of something for no reason. Well, this is the Rolls-Royce of EVs. It's called the Spectre, and it's basically the closest thing you can get to a luxury yacht on wheels. And it's electric. The Spectre isn't just the first electric Rolls-Royce, it's the only luxury EV, full stop. Yes, there's the Mercedes EQS and the BMW i7, but comparing those cars to this is like comparing a nice apartment to a mansion. And whilst other car makers have had to share their EV platforms, like the Audi e-tron GT and the Porsche Taycan, the Spectre is based on a bespoke Rolls-Royce architecture. It shares the same aluminium structure as the Cullinan and the new Ghost, so it's a proper Rolls-Royce. But of course, Rolls-Royce is owned by BMW, so the Spectre shares some of its mechanicals with the BMW i7. It still has dual electric motors, tweaked a bit to send 577 horsepower and 900 Nm of torque to all four wheels. So equipped, the Spectre is able to get from 0 to 100 km/h in 4.5 seconds. Not bad for a car weighing nearly 3 tons. The battery pack is the same as on the i7, 102 kWh, delivering a claimed range of 530 km on the WLTP cycle. Rolls-Royce says that's plenty for its buyers who, on average, have more than 7 cars in their garage. So if they need to go further, they can just get into another car and go. Or just take a private jet. Charging this thing from 10 to 80% takes 34 minutes using a DC charger at up to 195 kilowatts. With a 50 kilowatt charger, that stretches to 95 minutes. The Spectre also accepts up to 22 kilowatts of AC charging power, taking 5.5 hours for a full charge. The Spectre may be Rolls-Royce's first electric car, but there's no mistaking this as anything other than a Rolls-Royce. There's the long bonnet, the tapered long tail, and the thick C-pillars that give the rear passengers a bit of privacy. But while details like the Spirit of Ecstasy and the Pantheon grille remain, they have both been tweaked to make this the most aerodynamic Rolls-Royce ever made. This grille may be the widest ever fitted to a Rolls-Royce, but it's also a little bit shorter and it's more streamlined. Moreover, the vanes are closed because obviously there's less cooling needed for an EV, and they're illuminated by 22 LEDs. Then there's the Spirit of Ecstasy, which is shorter and sits further forwards. This redesign alone took 830 hours, and it helps reduce the drag coefficient to just 0.25. This aero theme even extends to the two-tone paint scheme, which covers the bonnet, the roof, and the boot lid. Of course, the Spectre wouldn't be a Rolls-Royce without a little bit of excess. The rear fenders are the largest single-body panels the company has ever made, stretching from the A-pillars all the way to the boot lid. The Spectre is also the first Rolls-Royce to get 23-inch wheels in nearly a century. Then there are the doors, which are rear hinged to give you better access to the interior. These are the largest ever fitted to a Rolls-Royce, and yet you don't really have to move a muscle to open them. You simply pull on this bank vault door handle and it will simply slide out, like so. Like all modern Rolls-Royces, the Spectre has a hidden umbrella right here, which is just as well because it seems to be raining a lot these days. And once you get inside, and you can't be asked to close the door yourself, you can simply press this button. Really, it's the inside that truly defines a Rolls-Royce, and the Spectre delivers in spades. It's impossibly sumptuous, with lots of soft leather and some really expensive feeling wood. As is usual for a Rolls-Royce, everything can be customized exactly to your liking. You can, for instance, choose up to 3 colors for the seats, including this really rather, shall we say, striking yellow and pink combination. You can also spec this car with a Starlight headliner, which uses fiber optics to replicate the stars in the night sky. And for the first time, you can have them in the doors too. And while other car makers are burying every function inside the touchscreen and capacitive buttons you can't see or feel, there's none of that here. There's buttons everywhere here. The air conditioning, the volume control knob, these organ stops for the air vents, even the buttons for the seat heaters and the massage function, they're all there. Don't get me wrong, the Spectre is still full of tech. You have a 12.3-inch touchscreen that runs a simplified version of BMW's iDrive, but you don't really have to use it if you don't want to, especially as there's still a rotary controller for it. One weird feature is this instrument cluster. You get another 12.3-inch display over here, but while there is an analog speedometer, there are no numbers on it. And you can't simply change the color of this dial. You have to choose the color when you spec the car, and once you made your choice, that's it. The front passenger doesn't get their own display. Instead, there's what's called an illuminated fascia that shows the Spectre script and over 5,500 individual stars. As you can expect from a Rolls-Royce, all 4 passengers sit in unbridled luxury, with plenty of space both at the front and the rear. And you can drop all 4 windows for an uninterrupted view out. The boot is a bit narrow, but it's quite deep, and there's some space underneath the floor for your charging cables. Unfortunately, there's no front boot, just a polished metal plate with the Rolls-Royce badge and a whole lot of nothingness. To transport its passengers in utmost comfort, the Spectre uses full air suspension that can be adjusted using the cameras and the navigation system. If it senses a bump, it can soften everything and even decouple the anti-roll bars to make sure the occupants don't feel a thing. In the corners, the Spectre's rear wheel steering makes it feel a bit more agile, but this is absolutely not a car to hustle in the bends. It's far too civilized for that. And then we come to the price of this car. You know what they say, if you have to ask, you probably can't afford it. But just so you know, the Spectre costs 2 million ringgit, and that's before you add all of the very expensive options you'll want. So there you have it, the Rolls-Royce Spectre, truly an electric vehicle like no other. What do you think? You like it? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and ring the notifications bell icon so you don't miss any of our future videos. Read all the latest tech news on searchandchow.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or X, and TikTok as well. As always, stay awesome. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.